Yeah. So here we are live on YouTube with our guest for this week's episode of the Dumbbells, Angela Gulner. What's up?
Hey, hey.
See, I wasn't able to be here for your first episode with us.
Yeah, that's right. It was just Ryan and I.
It was just Ryan. So it really, you were great, but it really dragged along when it came to hosting.
Angela did a lot of heavy lifting that
I know.
episode.
I didn't want to say anything, but thank God it's not just him this time.
I know. Gosh.
Nobody's more relieved than me.
Trust me.
Just to not have to fly solo with a great guest like Angela.
Yeah.
Angela and I know each other well. To bring people up to speed, we were in a show that Angela created called Binge. The show deals with eating disorders. It's a fictional show that you created, like a half-hour pilot for.
Exactly.
That we put out online, and people really responded to it.
And it's available to watch online.
Yeah, now. It's on YouTube. Yeah, and you can see Ryan as sexy, shady therapist.
Great.
Elicits a lot of uncomfortable feelings.
Yeah, Eugene, I jerk off on film.
Yeah. You mean other than on the show every time you talk about football? Yeah.
No, I'm not metaphorically jerking myself up. No, I am literally. No, it's wild. So the show is all kinds of flawed, real people going through shit, and nobody's inherently good and nobody's inherently bad. It's just people are just people on it, and so
that's amazing. Yeah, so that's available on YouTube to watch. Yeah,
and then.
Please go ahead.
Oh, and then I was just saying we're back up again doing a mini series that Ryan is also in, that is looking specifically at eating disorders and COVID and how the situation that we're in right now is exacerbating these illnesses for a lot of people. And I think people who never dealt with food or body stuff before are finding themselves like this quarantine is like triggering a lot of
if they didn't have issues before this, like this is creating some issues.
Yeah. A lot of therapists are seeing a big uptick in the amount of people who are struggling.
So this is great. This is great that you're on, because it's every episode that we've done. Once we were kind of in safer at home for LA, Eugene and I started recording these remotely.
Yeah.
So we've been going as long as it's been in order for LA. Since like the 13th or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we opened it up to questions, and without a doubt, it's people, on all different spectrums of, eating disorders or not, mental illness or not, are all struggling with, look, I am at home trapped with all this food. Like, what the hell do I do?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we, just through our own way have kind of tried to, and even people that have come on the show have, given some tips or maybe shared in some of their frustrations. But there's no real one size fits all for everybody.
No.
But it is a challenge. And I would imagine, particularly for people that, that have an eating disorder or have a tendency to want to binge.
Sure.
Because you can't, just keep your cupboards bare. It's like, you gotta have food to eat or to live. And,
and especially if you're a type of person who is a social person, to be isolated by themselves for so long, like the comfort of food or alcohol or whatever the substance is, or trying to find something that can connect you to some kind of feeling other than being by yourself, is what is driving people to feel like they're in a place that they've never been in before.
Yeah, boredom is a really powerful, scary thing.
Yeah.
And so is lack of structure. It's really, really hard.
Yeah. Tuesday. Today's Tuesday, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You just got to invent shit. Like, I'm just inventing structure for myself. And, but it doesn't feel real because it's like I'm in charge of it. I have no authority in my own life.
I know. Right. And it's hard, and I think because like there's so much we're not in control of, and there's so much noise and so much anxiety, that focusing on like food and shape becomes a really seductive thing to look at, because that's something you can actually control, at least for a little bit, and like do things and see results, which for most people ends up being fine. But for those who are predisposed to eating disorders or to sort of black and white thinking or sort of any kind of addictive mentality, it can easily cross the line into being something that's self-harm and tough to get out of.
Right.
Yeah.
Gosh.
That's well put.
Yeah.
I feel like I've been trying to express that for this whole time we've been doing this show. So it's like, you know, people like to eat.
Yeah, people get like, it's like people get sad, you know, and then other people are like, oh, it's what is it, Tuesday?
But
and then other
like,
people are like, hey, I don't know. There's the fridge.
But like nobody knows what day it is, and like everybody like eating all the time.
Yeah.
And you know, I would say to you guys, it's okay to eat like for comfort. Like that's a thing. And that's like what's been kind of I think challenging for a lot of people to sort of navigate, is that like there is a certain amount of like eating for comfort that is okay. And like is part of like the nature of food. Like physiologically, when we eat, our anxiety levels go down, which is why food can become addictive, because it's like this thing that like, you know, like when we're digesting, all of our energy goes to our gut.
Oh,
and
that's
so there's
interesting.
less kind of this sort of like chaos happening.
Yeah.
So it can be really calming, but like that line between it's a slippery slope.
I wish we were more like snakes, where you could still see the thing they ate for a while until it's fully digested, so that
just like my breakfast burrito is like just slowly moving
so
down
then
my
if
body.
you're like, you can be like, oh man, I'm still hungry. It's like, no, look down on the rest of your snake, and you could still see that it's a full rabbit. Like it's not even to the point where it's turning into other things.
That's an interesting wish to have, Eugene.
Oh, that you could see.
A lot of people want to fly, or you know, maybe be able to breathe underwater, but you want to be able to
food digest.
see your food digest.
I want you like to see it in my throat, like the sandwich that I ate, and like a cartoon character, like, and I want to eat it whole, so that it like is like an accordion.
We know it. We know it. Yeah.
Oh God, where's that genie?
So Angela, you're public with your challenges and struggling with having an eating disorder and being hospitalized at a certain point. Let's take it back. Like, say you were at the worst with your condition.
Yeah.
What challenges would this present to you right now?
Yeah, like
what we're going through.
Oh my God, dude. I can't fucking, can I swear?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. It's me on here.
This is where I like have so much compassion, because like when I really hit rock bottom for me, I didn't know how to eat. Like I honestly didn't know. I was so out of touch with my own hunger cues, and my body chemistry was so fucked up. My brain was all twisted in knots that I like, you say, okay, just start with 3 meals a day. I don't even know what meal one, like I had no idea portions. I didn't know any of it. So for me, I had to go to like elementary school again and like learn, okay, this is what a plate looks like. And this is what a serving size looks like. And it was a lot of really like by the books. Like I was like 27. I was like, wow, I'm an adult woman, and I'm learning like, put this amount of chicken over here. You know, it's like a lesson you would teach a child. But I was so disconnected with it that I really needed to like have very structured meal plans for myself for like a couple of months in order to like to get my body's cues back in line, because having it like any sort of restriction or binging or purging or any of that messes with our bodies are so resilient and so powerful, and they fight to keep us where we want to be, like shape and weight wise. And the eating disorder behaviors pull us so far out of our natural rhythm that like our hunger cues break. The idea of eating intuitively like can't work for a little while until you get all of those things in order for yourself. So I feel like at this time, like folks who are struggling, like finding a nutritionist and like finding some sort of meal plan just to like start regulating, getting your brain back online. is like baseline.
Yeah, that's interesting because you think about, okay, your instruments are all fucked up.
Yeah.
So you don't even know what should feel right. Like you mentioned before, intuitive eating. So then it's
Yeah.
like you have to have somebody say that you can trust, that you believe in, like a good third party, not like a judgmental parent or spouse
Yeah.
or
No,
whatever.
definitely not.
Yeah, so it's involving like that third party. Just say, hey, this is what a normal meal should look like, and
Yeah.
these are the food groups you should represent. So even when you do this and it feels wrong to you,
Just trust
just
that I've
trust
got
it.
your back here. Like I know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about. And I think you're really right. Like for it to be a parent or a spouse or anything like that is such a loaded relationship that's gonna muck up those lines. It's gonna cause shit. That's the last thing I want would be my boyfriend to tell me what to put on my plate.
No.
Shut up.
Yeah. Don't you fucking tell
Don't
me
you
how to
what
eat.
to do. I'm a grown up, but not really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tricky shit, man.
Tricky shit. But lots of people struggle with it, and there's like a huge spectrum. It's not just like full-blown bulimia, perfect relationship with food, right? It's like I think most people go like this throughout their lives, like as our bodies change, like women especially going through pregnancy and then menopause, there's so much change that happens, and like our relationship with our bodies and like what they need is constantly shifting. So
Right.
I think we've talked about it on the show before, but I think it warrants mentioning again that that more than ever, all different types of people are dealing with some level of like an eating disorder. And it's really, unfortunately, we have the decks stacked against us in the sense that our food environment is so wild. Well, for one, like whatever like media influence that we're getting, there's tons of papers and think pieces written on that, but our food environment is really messed up, to where we have like this food marketed directly towards us 24 hours a day. It's available to us 24 hours a day. And you have your kind of natural biology telling you to eat as much calorie rich food as you can that's available to you 24 hours a day. And then on top of that, you have food scientists and chemists that design food that is hyper palatable, that makes you want to eat it 24 hours a day.
yeah.
So if you're finding that you're having a hard time resisting or saying no, it's not your fault. I mean, it's really stacked against you.
Yeah.
So we're having to create, like there's psychology and all these like different, minds kind of getting together to help us develop these tools to combat some of the stuff that we're up against. And that's minus anything else you have going on with your own kind of personal brain chemistry too. That's just literally if you take like a quote unquote healthy mind and, have it try to survive in this current situation that we're in, food environment wise.
And then you add on to that, like not to get too dark, but I mean, I guess we're already there, but food deserts, food deserts and socioeconomic status and what food scarcity, especially in childhood, does to the brain. And that's and the way it, if if your family couldn't afford enough food to put on the table as a kid, you get instilled with this shortage mentality. So every time you're presented with food, you want to hoard it and you want to keep it because you don't know when it's coming next. Mm-hmm. And right now, having to kind of hoard food because there's actual scarcity and there's a lot of fear of scarcity for anyone who grew up where food was inconsistent as a child. It's super triggering that I'm not going to have enough. I'm not going to have enough. And that can just,
holy shit.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a lot.
That's a lot.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ.
You probably can't solve it today. I don't know.
Right.
Maybe.
But like the good thing is that at least like shining a light on it so that everybody who is, having issues or feeling like, a little bit, upset with themselves or beating themselves up about the fact that they've given themselves some treats or, have this. And they're like, oh, I used to have so much self-control. It's like, well, we're also in a situation where it's extra tough. And,
and everybody's baking sourdough bread all the time.
Everybody is.
Yes, it's everywhere.
Well, there's
fucking,
I mean,
coming in your window,
There's the other thing about this that I think is also affecting people's eating habits and just like mentality of food is, you can focus on clean eating. You can focus on, eating for fitness, or, making sure that you're taking the right stuff in. But when you're, like when you call something like a cheat or whatever, or you like minimize your food to a certain extent, if you call certain foods true, like cheat meals, then you look at it as at it as like a trophy. It's like a thing that you can't have, and that, like, and then you start craving it more because you can't have it. And what's ending up happening is, because you're buying all this food that you need to have in your home, or that you're trying to not hoard, but just like have so that you are eating correctly. You might go to the grocery store and, just get your proteins and just get your greens, and make sure that you have the food that is going to be good nutritionally for you. But then all you're doing is you're at home. So then you're watching TV, or you're on your phone and you're looking at Instagram, and people are baking their breads, and people are, saying, oh man, I wish I could go to this restaurant. And you're thinking in your head, oh, I wish I could go to that restaurant, or make that food, or go to that place, or just get that kind of takeout. So then the, grass is greener mentality is all you're thinking about. So then the food that you do have, you hate, because
Yeah.
it's not the food that you could have if this wasn't going on. Even though if this wasn't going on, you probably wouldn't eat that food, but it's just because, the structure of life right now, you're like, oh man, I need to, like the fact that Soup Plantation closed down,
Oh.
And yeah. And thinking of any of these kind of like Vegas, like buffets right now or whatever, it's just like, it's not like I'm like, man, every day I'm not, man, I need to go to a buffet. But now that they're gone, you go like, fuck, man, I got to hit that buffet up, man.
R.I.P. buffet.
R.I.P. buffet.
Yeah. Well, I think you're like so right. And like anytime we label a food as good or bad, we give it power, when really it's just like a tool. I mean, it should be enjoyable sometimes. Not every meal has to be like an emotional experience. But like when you say, oh, that's a cheat, or oh, I can only have that, it's just a food. It shouldn't have that much power. When you give it power, that's when you start that like cycle of deprivation and binging. And it starts to feel like a drug. Like it's got control. It's like getting in your brain.
I try not to pay any attention to my son, because I don't want him to have any power.
Yeah, that's great. That's good,
right?
That's really good parenting. Yeah.
Walk right by him.
Yeah.
Walk right by him.
Yeah. Just withhold.
Oh yeah. That'll be good. That's safe for him. Yeah.
That's what gave me my eating disorder. Just kidding. My mom's great. She'll be like weeping. What did I do?
Oh yeah.
I love that, both parts of that statement. I don't want my son to have any power, so I ignore him. It's wild, dude.
That'd
be fucking Greek tragedy.
Yeah. But yeah, once you give any power to food, good or bad, then you like,
these fuckers out there sourdoughing it.
Sourdoughing it.
Have you guys tried to make sourdough?
No.
Nah. It seems like a lot. They're doing that. They get the little ball and they have to keep twisting that thing around.
The fact
it's impossible to find yeast anywhere, and then you got to find a starter.
Yeah, the fact that there has to be a starter means that it's like, oh, you just can't make it. Forget it.
I mean, I'm still trying to make it as an actor. I think I have a better shot of that than actually pulling off a successful loaf of sourdough.
It seems like you're asking for a reason to feel like a failure.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need any more.
Yeah. You need an acting starter.
Yeah.
I had a better shot with that. Because it'll look perfect, and then they cut it open and they'll say there's not enough bubbles in it or something.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm just like, it looks good, man. I'll eat that shit.
Then it'll just be a rock.
And you have to like keep it alive, right?
Yeah, you got to keep your that starter alive. I don't know.
No.
It seems weird. It seems a little gremlin-y or monster-ish or something.
I've been supporting our local bakery.
That's
the way to do it.
Yeah. I experimented in kombucha brewing one year.
Oh, I thought you meant like during this.
No, not during this. I can't do it again because a couple good batches. This is really, I don't know why I'm telling this. The seal wasn't sealed properly.
Oh shit.
And it got really hot. And I won't get
Exploded?
into creatures.
Oh shit.
It looked like I opened my cupboard or wherever we had it. This is
I'm sorry. What do you mean creatures?
I'm talking about like maggots, like attacking the yeast thing. It was the grossest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Wait, that's what kombucha? What is?
No, dude, it's not. No,
They got in. So you put like a cheesecloth over the top, and mine wasn't attached correctly, and like flies or like, it's really bad. Anyway, I'm so sorry. I take it back.
That's okay.
So I mean, that scarred me enough to have any sort of like living thing that I need to upkeep to eat. I'll
be honest. I've yet to have kombucha. And now that I've heard this story, I will never have it.
Yeah.
It's maggot food?
It's maggot food.
I mean, what isn't, babe?
Yeah,
right?
babe. Yeah,
babe. Let me tell you, babe, what is it? We're all maggot food.
Hey, you get it, babe. Yeah, you got it, babe.
Let me tell you something.
Hey, everybody out there is eating a bunch, you know? Yeah. It's like, whoa, your fridge. Hey, babe.
Hey, my dead grandma's maggot food. All right.
All right.
Hey, okay. You know what I used to really like this GT's kombucha. They're kind of
good.
It tastes good. They were kind of the industry standard for it, but they were off on their sugar, how much sugar was in it, and they had to relabel it. And then now it's like too much sugar for me, you know. It's more of like a occasionally. I used to drink it all the time because they had certain bottles that were labeled as having around 4 grams of sugar for the whole bottle, but now it's 12.
Oh, so it was 4 grams. It was 4 grams a serving, I guess.
Not even that. They were mislabeled. They got in trouble for alcohol content too. Yeah. So they had to switch it. And so you could get 2 different kinds. You could get the black label kind or the black bottle kind, which is what I liked with the little booze in there. Mm-hmm. Still not enough to get you drunk or anything. But they also mislabeled on their sugar, and so they had a higher sugar content. It's just like a little bit more of a, I'm trying not to drink as much sugar,
Sure. Yeah, a little like additive or something. You don't need to because it's got enough in it anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. And so people still like it. I think they're still doing legit stuff. It was just, I think they maybe had somebody kind of examine how much was in what because there is some sugar, right, like you said, in there to get it going.
That's what it eats or whatever.
Yeah.
What eats?
There's living bacteria in there that eats.
The fungus or whatever. Yeah.
Got it.
And you can there's like slimies in there, like you can feel them like little jellyfish going down your throat.
It's off of like the SCOBY, and every time you brew a batch, it has a baby. Yeah. And so you can give the baby some. It's very weird.
Wow.
Nature's weird. I don't know.
You sold on it, huge?
Yeah. So far, that sounds fantastic. Do you still drink it, Rye, every once in a while then?
I do every once in a while, but like I said, because it's got the sugar, I used to drink it like every day, and I just don't.
But maybe not that brand, but like another one.
Yeah, I'll look around. All of them have a little bit. That was kind of why I picked that one, because it seemed to have the less.
Oh, I see.
It seemed to have the least but I think it was maybe because they didn't know what was in there. But I do this other stuff now called Kavita. That's kind of good.
Oh yeah, I've had that.
Yeah, so a little less sugar, and it has some active cultures in there too. Same kind of idea. You get your probiotics.
Which are apparently, my mom is a nurse, and she says, eat your yogurt and drink your kombucha right now, because apparently something with COVID attacks the gut, and having probiotics is like helpful in preventing it. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if anyone really knows, but
healthy
gut.
You,
that's what mom says.
Look at you, Mr. No Maggots, Eugene.
Hey,
shit.
I like them guts, baby. I'm all about the yogurt game.
Yogurt?
I'm just not a.
What kind of yogurt you doing?
Just like a Greek full fat Greek yogurt with just like unflavored or whatever.
What did we ever do before Greek yogurt?
I think you went Yoplait, I guess, right? Or Go-Gurt. You just went
Go-Gurt. It's like half sugar.
Yeah, it's like trying to fucking rob a liquor store with a squirt gun, man.
So gross.
I mean, we had access to this Greek yogurt. I mean, that's an automatic weapon.
And it tastes so much better than just like thick milk, thick sweet milk.
Yeah, yeah. That's what yogurt was. Yoplait.
Yeah. Yoplait
Yeah.
was just thick, sweet milk, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I used to be wild about those bottles when I was little, though. Remember how they?
Yeah, they were cute little, like the Danimals drinkables.
Oh, right. With that had a
Yeah.
little foil top on
Uh-huh.
it.
I like the
And you
Yoplait. Yeah, the Danimals drinkables. I like the Yoplait with the foil on the top,
Oh yeah.
and they kind of were like they look like a little I don't know, like a little country, like a Dutch country
Yeah.
farm.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
You remember Go-Gurt?
Go-Gurt,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, that was in the tubes.
Yep. The tubes. So cool.
My kid likes a version of that. We get him like, we won't get him Go-Gurt, but we'll get him like the little healthy, horse shit one of it.
Yeah.
It's like, ugh. But
I remember when yogurt used to also have like fruit at the bottom that you'd stir in. That was
I
just
think it
all-
still does.
Yeah.
It does. Nobody's buying it, but it's still
nobody's buying it.
They
Nobody's
have-
buying that. Those blueberries are good.
They have some cute little packs at Trader Joe's where half of it is the Greek yogurt and then the other half, and you fold it over, and
Oh,
it's like
right.
it's like a little topping, like granola.
Yeah.
So we got to be respectful of Angela's time here. She's got a heart out, and I'm watching the clock in about 15 minutes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to go teach a virtual piano lesson, which is my life now.
Cool.
So that's managing that. That's tough.
Me
You
just
got
like screaming into the phone, like, no, move your hand. Move your hand.
I mean,
That is
whatever it takes. Kids
Yeah.
got to still learn piano
Yeah.
even during self-isolation.
Yeah.
Glorified babysitting, which is fine.
Do the kids follow instruction, or do they smart off a little
It's
bit?
so
because-
easy to just kind of gauge, like be, not pay attention, right?
Yeah, there's like two camps. There's the camp where the parents are really intense and will stand there and kind of make sure, like I can hear them behind the camera the whole time, sort of like watching and trying to keep them in line. And then
Mhm.
there's the other camp that's like, oh, thank God they're out of my hair. And then I get tours of the house. I get to see their dog, and it feels like babysitting.
Yeah.
Like
Jesus.
whatever you need right now, I get it. I can't imagine being a parent during this time. You're both parents.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
It
bananas.
sucks.
It's fucking bananas.
of course.
It fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're looking into adoption for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, sending them out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
send
yeah,
him out.
yeah.
We can make some family really happy,
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
little gift.
what's
Little
just
gift for
kind of
them.
absolutely crazy is just like the idea that everything has to be virtual now, and just having like even trying to teach a class over it must be bizarre. I mean, I remember when I took piano classes as a kid, it was hard for me to pay attention when the teacher's sitting next to you or pushing your fingers down. I'm like, please, no way.
No, I have to say it's quite exhausting.
Sure, I bet.
But we're making it work. Everyone's kind of adjusting to this online thing.
Yeah.
And, it's funny. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm scheduling business meetings with these kids because they've got their like Zoom like 3 to 4 times a day for their school, and then they have
Sure.
their Zoom with me, and then they have their Zoom dance class.
Right.
So I'm just one on their roster of meetings they have to go to.
You're just one of the online Zoomers.
Yeah, I know.
So what is something that we can maybe leave people with?
Oh yeah.
That
Oh, and if you're watching this live on YouTube right now and you have a question for Angela, feel free to ask it in the comments for the next 10 minutes now. But yeah, right now we just have Yuri's on, and he says hello. So there you go.
Oh, hey Yuri.
Yeah. Talking about the sourdough stuff.
Yeah.
But what were you saying, Ryan?
Oh yeah, so it's something that we can maybe leave some people with, some resource, some tool, some
Yeah.
tip or hack
Yeah.
or whatever. If they're maybe feeling like they're having some, I don't know, compulsive issues come up during this time. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think? I can offer a couple. Eugene can offer a couple. Angela can offer a couple.
Yeah.
Totally. I mean, I think like the big thing that I keep reminding myself is like the body isn't a project. It's a vessel that like survives. And we're like going through this global trauma right now. And so whatever shape you're taking up, whatever you're needing to do to survive it, that's what you're we're in survival mode. And so to maybe reframe your relationship with your body, just even temporarily, as like, what I'm doing right now is to get me through to the next point.
Right.
Can kind of help. And there are a ton of free online support groups right now. I can like post in the comments after or something with some of those.
What we can do is I'm going to talk to you. Angela and I are working on something else tonight.
Great.
Yeah.
But I can get some of those and I can put them in our Instagram, like or in the show description for the comments. So we'll have some resources for support groups for people.
Yeah.
From Angela.
And there's this great book called Intuitive Eating that kind of takes you through what that looks like and how to move toward that. And it could be just sort of a helpful, go-to if folks are feeling a little bit more compulsive and a little bit more unmoored in terms of their eating patterns. There's also a book if you feel like you might be moving from disordered eating into eating disorder. There's like the classic OG book, 8 Keys of Eating Disorder Recovery. That's a really great program. And I always say, like, ask for help. Therapy's super cool now. Everybody's doing it. Everyone's doing telehealth. Like it's a great resource. But if you don't maybe have the financial means or the insurance, or there's just some sort of barrier to getting that for you, that book is really, really helpful and can kind of address not only like the nutrition aspect, but also the emotional component that goes along with all of it.
You mentioned a thing like from eating disorder eating to eating disorder. What is it?
So like we kind of call the gray area disordered eating, where you're sort of like, you feel a little out of control. You feel like things are not looking the way you want it to look. And then eating disorder is when some of that like diagnostic criteria come into play.
I see.
Where it becomes like a little bit more like serious for your physical health in addition to your emotional health.
I see. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I haven't heard that before. And I'm like, ooh, wow. That's a neat way of putting it. Yeah. Great.
Yeah. So those are some things I would say. And just, there are a lot of community support avenues out there. There's this great organization that I work with called Project Heal, and they have recently moved all of their support groups online. So 5 days a week, they offer free online support groups at various times. So if you go on Project Heal's website, they've got a ton of great resources. And it's just, I think, completely normal to be feeling anxiety in this area right now. I feel like you'd be hard pressed to find someone who doesn't feel anxious about it right now.
Sure. Yeah. I'm
Yeah,
happy. I'm not happy that that's true, but it's true that everybody is feeling it.
We're not crazy, right? It's hard. It's actually hard.
I love when people are miserable with me.
You love it. You love it.
Exactly.
What is that where you like that? Munchausen by proxy?
Yeah.
Did you start Corona, Eugene?
You're
poisoning us? That's where you poison somebody you love so you can take care of them.
Yeah, so you feel important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Shit, dude. That's some fucking dark shit, man. I mean, if you're struggling with an eating disorder, at least you don't have Munchausen.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
It could be worse. You could have that shit where you got to poison your grandma so you feel good about yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's your soup. It's always like the person's always in bed and they're bringing them soup and stuff and it's fucking poison in there.
It's like the more fucked up version of misery.
Yes.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I was going to say, comes up a million times on the show. It has been recently, but if you feel like you're spinning out of control a little bit, make a schedule for yourself. So if you're unemployed, like so many people are, and so your days are just kind of bleeding into each other. It's like the same thing Angela was talking about, where you have, somebody that's it's their field to design an eating strategy or a program for you. You may have to do it yourself if you don't have access to somebody for a schedule. So even if it's just wake up, make your bed, just dumb shit, take a small walk, have lunch, whatever this is, just write it up just having it on a schedule really helps. And you can like write it, on a note card and post it up on your board. And chances are you'll roll your eyes. You're probably rolling your eyes while I'm suggesting it, but you'll probably do it. And you'll definitely be more inclined to do it that way than if you don't. Because if you have work, you're just naturally on a schedule. Like you have to wake up, you have to fit stuff in before you drive to work. And if you completely eliminate that from yourself or your life, it's natural and normal to feel like you're spinning a little bit. And so you have to just create some artificial, ground underneath your feet, or invent some gravity for yourself, whatever kind of force thing, gravity or that.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Either
One of
down or
those.
up. Either down or
Down
up.
or up.
Yeah.
Whatever
Or
it is.
even
But
wind. Even wind would work.
even some wind, but
Just some wind.
just try making it up for yourself. I
Mhm.
mean, it's that or nothing. So why not try it at least, and then
Sure.
just see how that goes. And I'll say it has been really helpful with my son and his school schedule. So it's just not this glob of work that we're doing. We just kind of break it up a little bit. And then, so that's been helpful to his mindset and my mindset. And then it helps, eradicate some of the uncertainty that you're feeling maybe. So I don't know.
Totally.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eugene, you turn into a snake so you can see what you ate.
So you can see what you ate. I mean,
Ignore your son to eliminate their power.
and eliminate
Great
power
pieces of advice.
to food and to your other people you're living with. That's my advice. Mine is, loosely based on eating, but it's more about like how you feel feel during this. And I think that like for focus and structure, try, especially since you don't know what day it is, try to go to bed the same time every night. Try to wake up after, try to get a full 8 hours of sleep. And then at 8 hours, get out of bed. Like, don't just hang out there. Even if you're going to don't just sit there and look at your phone at that time. Like, let the day start. Get out of bed, start the day, and like give yourself that structure, just because, it's so easy to just lay down at night and just look at your phone for 3 or 4 hours and then try to fall asleep, and then get up, look at your phone for 3 or 4 hours, try to get out of bed. And it's just
schedule it. 5 hours and 27 minutes of Instagram scrolling.
Yeah. But it's crazy
The end,
because
your eyes are bleeding.
you see something from the night before, and you want to see the update of it the next day or whatever, and then you're on your phone, or unfortunately you want the news to tell you that it's all done,
I know.
so that you look at it the first thing when you wake up, and then you start looking at, like, was Michael Jordan that horrible or whatever, and then you start looking at that, or why so-and-so is trending.
Mhm.
And the more that you can just kind of get in that 8 hours, and let your bed and let sleep be like a peaceful thing and its own kind of structure, is a good way to kind of allow yourself to then look forward to the day, or live in the day that you're in.
I love it. Questions coming in, but we're running out of time. Owen Robertson, thoughts on cleanses. A lot of people are actually participating in what they've been doing. This guy, Michael Marsh, talked about IIFYM.
Yeah.
In quarantine, it's been weird, but he feels healthier, mind and body.
Yeah.
Sophie,
IIFYM is if it fits in your macros. Yeah.
If it fits my macros or your macros. Yeah. Sophie Lomir, food has become so complicated, dude. I know this is unhealthy, but when I'm out and about, knowing that people can see me eat, it helps me limit and eat more healthy. But when I'm alone, it's binge city, baby.
Yeah.
I totally get that.
Yeah. And this isn't going to last forever. If your shape changes during this time, that's okay. Like, it's a weird time, it's okay. Like, it's okay to have your shape respond to your life. Your body will regulate. It wants to regulate. It wants to stay in its optimal zone, So if we can practice like a little bit more trust and a little bit more compassion for not, doing it the way that we think we should be doing, these are crazy circumstances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Well,
but what is the hardest thing to let go? Like even hearing you say, like just having a little trust, it's like, what do you mean? Because Stanger and I are in the middle of like, there's moments where like I mean, if I miss a day working out, it's like, what else am I doing? It's so
Yeah.
hard to not beat yourself up
Yeah.
because of it. And it's like, it is it's just a good thing to hear from. I mean, it's just good to hear from other human beings in general. But also,
just trust it. You are not your productivity, right? It's like these little mantras, like you don't have to come out of this better. You just have to come out of it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's good. That's
That's
really good.
That's great.
It's like we're just surviving the day right now can be okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. We'll let you leave on that, Angela. Is there anything? So people should check out Binge to see the amazing
a little
Angela.
trigger warning a little bit there that there's some behaviors shown, and also you'll see Ryan masturbate.
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll see it.
I mean, I'm not going snake out, Eugene, but you know what I'm doing.
Yeah. You get a sense. You get a sense.
And the show is like an honest take on it, and it isn't all flowery and sunshine
it's not
and roses.
An after-school special at all.
No. People are presented as real, and but it's funny, and Angela's amazing and funny as hell, and so people should check that out, and they could go to at Binge the series on Instagram.
Instagram, and we're on YouTube. If you just put in Binge the Cereals, it'll come up, and you'll see Ryan. And we released our first episode of we're calling it How to Lose Weight in the Apocalypse, as like a little jab at all this diet culture talk. That first episode dropped on Friday, and then we have 2 more coming over the next month or so. So
great.
Yeah, you know, we're just getting through it.
Yeah, so people should follow Angela too. She's a great resource.
Yeah, what's your what's some of your handles and stuff?
Yeah, I'm just at Angela Gulner on Instagram and Twitter. I think I'm not good at Twitter. And then at Binge the Series on both of those as well. And we've got tons of support videos. I lead a support live stream every Sunday at 10 a.m. on HLG's YouTube channel, where I just answer. I just like talk to the camera like this, usually still in bed. And you can ask questions and get support and connect with the community, and know that you're not alone in all this.
Oh,
crap.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Thanks for being here, Angela. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna get like loaded up with a bunch more questions over. Email and tweets and everything. So we're going to have you back during this. Probably that's helpful. So
happy to. Yeah. Happy to field some questions. Not a therapist, but had an eating disorder for a decade. So
it's always good to talk to other people who, experience life. Yeah. So great. Well, stay healthy. Have a good piano lesson.
And you do it. Okay, I will.
Great.
And I'll see you later, Ryan.
Yeah, I'll see you later. See you soon.
Yep. Bye, guys.
Great. Bye.
Bye-bye.
But yes, that was great. So if you're still watching,
that was good.
It's the 2 of us here. It's me and Rye. Just there was one more question, Rye. There was any noticeable changes from the celery juice? Have you been doing some celery juice?
Yeah, dude, I do it every day.
Yeah.
It's got to be total bullshit. As far as what this guy, my source at the originator, what the guy, when it went all crazy and the guy's whatever ails you, you have your arm amputated, try drinking celery juice. It'll grow back.
Now, how long has the celery juice thing, like now it's just part of your lifestyle, so you're not even thinking about it, right?
Yeah, dude. I juice it. I have like 32 ounces every day.
Of just straight celery juice, nothing
Just
else is
straight celery juice. Just
and
because some
water? Is it
fucking
mixed with water?
no, it's nothing. It's just straight celery juice. Some fucking dummy said it was a thing, and then I started doing it, and then now I'm sure it's just for my own mind. Well, I do feel good on it, and it's really good for digestion. Like you feel, completely cleaned out
And how long has this been on
digestive
this?
wise.
How long have you been
Got
what was
probably
it?
for like a year.
A year? I remember seeing that juicer at your house. You love it. You're going through it.
Probably for like a year.
Yeah. I'm losing you a little bit there, right?
What's that?
I said I lost you a little bit there.
You got me now?
Yeah, I got you now.
I've been doing it for like a year, maybe like over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew like Sly Stallone was doing it.
Sure.
So I always joke about like, hey, sorry, it's been around since who knows.
Sure.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I don't know. So I'm sure it's some dumb thing, but I like it. I do it. I also do ginger and lemon. I'll mix like a little ginger lemon tonic. And that shit's fucking intense, dude. That straight ginger, pressed ginger will burn your fucking throat going down.
We have a juicer. It's in a box. It hasn't been opened since Trish ordered a juicer, I think a little bit over a year ago, maybe around the same time where me and you were talking about it, and probably when you started, because we probably were chatting about it. And I guess Trish also saw that there was something with juicers, or there was a juicer on sale on like the Today Show or something that was like a really good juicer. Got it. By the time it got to our house, we were both like, oh yeah, there it is. There's the juicer. And we put it in the garage. Hasn't left the garage. So I don't know if now's the time to pull out the juicer, but maybe it is.
Get juicing, man. Try it. You'll like it.
But I see the thing is I take a protein shake just so I can get more protein from the day. Cause I just, not enough in like, especially still focused on intermittent fasting, like, getting 25 more grams of protein or 50 grams more of protein from a protein shake is what I need in my day. But I would rather eat than drink anything. And like, that's the thing, like celery juice and all that's juicing. I'm like, I'd rather just try to eat the vegetables. Like I'd gnaw on some celery, but maybe it's not the amount that you need, but
I do both. Like I'll eat it. I eat most of my greens, but the celery I'll juice just because I'm doing, 2 whole stalks of it. So there's no way you could eat all that.
yeah.
But I mean, who knows? Who knows? Celery's been around since who knows.
Hang on a second. You do 2 stalks of celery every day.
Or 2 bunches. A stalk is 1 piece, but I do 2 bunches of it.
That's what I'm thinking is 2 like 2.
Yeah, dude. My fucking refrigerator looks like a when they feed gorillas, like when they show you like what gorillas eat, and there's like all this fucking shit.
Yeah. Well.
It's like Kona goes through an entire freezer full of this stuff every day. He eats over 2,000 pounds of bamboo in one sitting. Like that's what I'm like with this celery. Yeah, it's Nancy's just like, what the fuck is this shit, man? Come on. But hey, look, man, I feel great.
Yeah, good. Everybody who is watching on the YouTube, thank you for watching this part of the live episode. The full episode with a couple more questions answered from Instagram or from even the chats, the live chat here, or from the emails will be on the podcast that will be out tomorrow. Download and rate and review the podcast when it comes out tomorrow. Please keep listening to that. Keep coming back every week when we do this live 2:30 part of the episode with a guest. And we appreciate that you guys are here and watching. It's really cool to have that.
Yeah, thanks for being here for this experiment, guys. We're having fun doing the live stuff, and we're gonna go do some more for the podcast now. So we'll see you guys, or you'll hear us over there. We won't see you or hear you.
Nope.
But we'll be there.